Shema Israel,
All right, shalom, shalom, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Yahusha, your end-time watchman, as you see at the bottom of the screen there. Welcome, thank you for joining me. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope your Shabbat went good. This is my weekly video that I put out. But if you guys want to join me live every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do my Shabbat talks where I go live, and we chop it up. We have a pretty good time over there. So I hope everybody's been enjoying themselves, especially with these lessons, the Yahusha versus JESUS, because I put, not too much time into it, but quite a bit of time into coming up with all these lessons every week, and trying to mix it up and trying to keep it coherent and consistent. So I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Today it will be Yahusha versus JESUS, fruits and behavior. All right, the fruits. All right, supposedly the spirit is what they call it, the ruach, what they exude, right, and then the behavior that they exude or show towards other people. Now, not all, but most Christians are not loving or exude the fruits of the ruach, and we're going to go through that right now. Most, not all, but most of them are not loving like they say they are. They just act like that in front of you, but behind your back, say the worst things. I've seen it myself here on YouTube. You guys have seen the Christians come on my channel and attack me, right? Even though I'm not here to attack them. They say I'm attacking them, but I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just trying to point out the truth. So Yahusha versus JESUS. This is a little lengthy, probably a little bit. It's going to take a little bit more to get through this than usual. So it's probably going to go on a little bit longer than 5-10 minutes, but we'll get through it as quick as we can. But this is it, Yahusha versus JESUS, and we're going to talk about fruits and behaviors, okay? Fruits and behaviors. All right, so we have Yahusha, and I'll just go through these quick. We have Galatians 5:22 and 23, and that's the fruits, right? The fruit of the Spirit, or the Ruach, is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. That's not how they act. That is not how they act, okay? They have no good fruits, and we can go to... and we can see what happens when you don't have good fruit. So let's go to 1 John 3:4. Everyone doing sin also does lawlessness, and sin is lawlessness. So their fruits, right, are not good. So this produces the lawlessness, which produces the sin, and sin is lawlessness. And we're going to hopefully delve a little bit deeper into that. Let me see, Luke. What else we have here? Galatians, Romans, Matthew, Acts, Luke 6:43. For a good tree does not yield rotten fruit. A good tree doesn't yield rotten fruit. A good tree would be someone in Torah or in covenant, not Christians, not people that say JC, LORD, GOD. These are not, and even people that say Yahusha. You have to be very careful. Question these people. Test everything. A good tree does not yield rotten fruit, nor does a rotten tree yield good fruit. And that's the issue that we're having, We can go to the book of Matthew, chapter 7. Matthew 7, verse 17 and 18. So every good tree yields good fruit, but a rotten tree yields wicked fruit. A good tree is unable to yield wicked fruit. A good tree is unable to. They follow Torah, his commandments. Okay? And a rotten tree to yield good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So then, by their fruits you shall know them. When they say the fruits, the only thing that they talk about is Galatians 5. And that's where they stop. They think that's the only thing that comes with the fruits. All right, your fruits are also your works, your obedience. That's fruits as well. You know what I mean? And they've forgotten these things. So they have no love. So the second would be John 14:15. If you love me, you will guard my commands. If you love me, they have no love. They go against his commandments, his Sabbaths, and his feasts. And remember in Leviticus 23, right? Let's go to Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23 says, speak to the children and say to them the appointed times of Yahuwah, which you are to proclaim as Kodesh Mikra, my Moedim. These are my appointed times. 6 days work is done, or Yomim, but the seventh Yom is a Shabbat of rest. Okay? You do not work. It is a Sabbath to Yahuwah in all your dwellings. And it goes through appointed times. Leviticus 23, verse 1 through 44. They seem to only read the New Testament. They don't care about the Old Testament. They think all of it's been done away with. And we're going to get to that here in a second. Then we have the Torah keepers, Revelation 14:12. Now, Revelation 14:12 says, let's go to Revelation 14:12. Revelation 14:12 says, here is the endurance of the set apart ones. So if there's 3 billion people claiming to be Christian, they all can't be set apart. That's impossible. They don't do Sabbath, the feast, the name. They don't care about any of it, okay? Which is what we're going through. Listen to this. Here is the endurance of the set apart ones. Here are those guarding the commands of Yahuwah and the belief of Yahusha. Now they forget what the commands are because they say, oh, well, JESUS only taught us 2 commandments, which is love Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, and might, and then love your neighbor. They forget don't murder, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, Sabbath, don't have no images. They don't care about those commandments. They threw those away. They have no love for Torah. They are not Torah keepers. Check out Matthew 5:17. They're not Torah keepers, guys. They don't care. They have no love. Do not, and this is the reason why I'm quoting Matthew 5:17 for not keeping the Torah, because this is the reason why they don't do it. They read this verse right here. Do not think I came to destroy the Torah. This is Matthew 5:17. Do not think I came to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to complete. They only look at the very last word, fulfill or complete, and they think, see, it's done. They didn't see the part before it where it says, I did not come to destroy the Torah of the prophets. And what were the prophets teaching? They were teaching the Sabbath, the feasts, the commandments, and his name. This is what the prophets taught. It's the same thing the apostles taught. 1 John 3:23, it talks about the name. Remember, they don't have a name because they go with JESUS, so the name doesn't mean anything to them. So let's go to 1 John 3:23. 1 John chapter 3, verse 23. And this is his command, that we should believe in the name of the Son, Yahusha Mashiach, and love one another as he gave us command. Believe in the name of the Son. Well, the letter J wasn't invented till 500 years ago, so JESUS is only about 500 years old. What do they call him 1,500 years prior to that? So 2,000 years ago, they didn't call him JESUS, they called him Yahusha. 1 John talks about this, his name. His name. But see, they have no name, right? They forgot. They forget. Let's go to Acts 4:12. They forget Acts 4:12, right? I'm sticking a lot to the New Testament because this is what they do. They use the New Testament. They forget Acts chapter 4:12. They say, we don't care about a name. The name doesn't mean anything. The name means not. Okay, Acts chapter 4, verse 12. And there is no deliverance in anyone else, for there is no other name under the heaven given among men by which we need to be delivered. So that's Acts 4:12. They seem to forget that. Okay? And they say no name as opposed to the name. Then we see on this side with Yahusha, we have the good behavior or obedience. You can go to Deuteronomy 11, verse 26 through 28 when it talks about obedience. All right? And it's talking about the Torah. Okay? But they have bad behavior or they're disobedient. Okay? They forget verses like Acts 5:29. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Acts 5:29. Acts 5:29. And Kepha, or Peter, and the other emissaries answering said, we have to obey Elohim rather than men. Okay? That's why they have bad behavior and disobedience, because they listen to men. They're not listening to Yahuwah and his word. They're disobedient to the Torah, the commandments, the feast, his name. You can go to Romans 6:23. Romans 6:23. For the wages of sin is death, but the favorable gift of Yahuwah is everlasting life in Mashiach Yahusha our Master. For the wages of sin is death. And that's what they're doing. They're committing all this. So, let's just look at some of the characteristics or behaviors, right? Or fruits, if you will. When we look at the Nazarene, or people that follow Yahusha, these are people who are kind, caring, sympathetic, loving, truthful, no fear, okay? They're compassionate, they're patient, they're wise, they have simple truths, they don't try to bombard you, and they're unblind to the truth. But if you see the JESUS, this is what you have with JESUS. You have proud, boastful, arrogant, ignorant. What did I write there? Prideful, a big ego. They're unkind. They're liars. They're blind. They're unwise. They're foolish. And they are afraid. They are afraid because they do not know. They think they have all this knowledge because they listen to some street preacher, or they go to some church, or they listen to some bigwig on TV. Any of them, I don't care, you name them. All these teachers are bad. There aren't very many good teachers out there. That's why I can only point to a couple of them. Mark Davidson and Lou White are two good teachers I recommend. I recommend these two teachers. Or check out Devoted to Yah. Or Brother Mark from Spark in You is Yah. Spark in You is all one word. SPARKINU. Spark in You is Yah. You can check out all these channels are in my subscription list. Yeah, and check these channels out. You know what I mean? Plus with mine, like I said, I don't know too many other people that are going on there talking about this. Nobody's saying this. I know that for a fact because I look. Now, there's a couple people that have made a video about JESUS, but they haven't really gone too much into depth, and that's what I want to do is go a little bit in depth with you guys. Because I want people to see there is a difference. I'm getting kind of tired of people saying, there's no difference. I'm reading the same book you're reading, yada, yada, yada. I've heard all the excuses, you know. And there's going to be more, you know what I mean? But I'm ready for it, you know what I mean? This is what we're to do. We're to teach, you know what I mean? And not everybody's going to agree with what I got to say. I understand that. But JESUS is the Antichrist. JESUS is the Hashatan, our adversary. The devil by some circles is known by. So it's very important who we serve, that we know who we serve. Plus, the fruits and our behavior will reflect. So if you believe in JESUS, you're going to act a certain way. Trust me. Because you're not going to have Torah in you and you're not in covenant. But if you have Yahusha, I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. I'm just saying that you're following Torah, you're being obedient. Your fruits and behavior are going to be different, trust me, than a Christian's. Guaranteed. If you start following Yahusha, you will see the difference between Christians and then people who are Nazarene, as I would call them. The real, true Nazarene, right? Listen, I love you guys with all my heart. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope these videos are worth something and that they are producing some good fruit somewhere. That's what I do. I try to plant these little seeds. Like I said, you guys can join me every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Friday for my Shabbat Talks, where I go live and you guys can chat with me live and ask me any questions or give a testimony, or you just want to talk about the faith, whatever. You know, you want to debate a little bit, that's fine. Come on there. That's where I do all my live stuff at. I'm not going to have a comment battle with you. I don't do that. I don't text. That's not my thing. So you want to get in touch with me, check out my email, natsareemunited@yahoo.com. You can go to my About section on my YouTube page. The About section will give you my email, natsareemunited@yahoo.com, and you can leave me an email if you want to contact me that way. All right, you guys. I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me get ready here. Like I said, every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, come check me out for my Shabbat Talks. And at the end of all my videos, I love to say, run to Yahusha.